The Wilbur Soot ARG took over the community of the YouTuber JackSucksAtLife. From one unsuspecting email that could have easily have been ignored, but unfortunately for Jack, he unwittingly led us down the rabbit hole. That was some time ago now, and the community have been very busy solving all of the puzzles.
In fact, your community, as you call it, in your Discord that they've made, have gathered most of what they need. The last step for you is to figure out the story. That's the last thing.
Just the story left to figure out. Well, let's figure this out then. If you're not familiar with this or any other ARG, then the definition goes, an alternate reality game, ARG, is an interactive networked narrative that uses the real world as a platform and employs transmedia storytelling to deliver a story that may be altered by players' ideas or actions. And just as a quick reminder, here's a rundown of the ARG that hijacked Jack's community. It all started with one email that Jack received titled, New Editor Application, Important, which was Wilbur attempting to replace Kai as Jack's editor, which Jack had joked about in the previous video, but had no real intention of doing so. But in Wilbur's mind, this was no joke. Jack, seeing a free and interesting video idea, was keen to see what this guy had in store for him, and as it turns out, what he had in store may have been too much for Jack to handle.
I don't know. Is he stalking Kai? I'm freaked out, guys!
As the edited video that Jack received from Wilbur turned a bit dark halfway through, Wilbur interrupted the video from what seemed to be an abandoned house, claiming to need money and that he was cold, and people were after him. He was interrupted and left in a hurry. After this, the video goes back to normal. Next time, Jack lets Wilbur edit the whole video that was uploaded, but this time, it was the interactions that were strange.
I haven't got a song for you. They took my guitar.
Thank you. Alright.
But this was only the tip of the iceberg, as Wilbur had hidden clues and secret messages in these videos, and boxes in real life were hidden that contained more clues. However, as it was said at the beginning, Wilbur has already admitted that the community has figured out all of the clues and solved all of the puzzles. We have everything that we need except one thing.
The last step for you is to figure out the story.
This is my attempt to understand the story with everything the community has gathered. The YouTube channel Red Heron pointed out that Wilbur seemed to have multiple personality disorder. I agree with this, and we'll talk about why this is the case a little later. The personalities in this story are R and I Faker. The easiest way to know the difference between the two is with glasses and demeanor. R Faker wears glasses. He's calm, intelligent, socially awkward, and his body language is closed in. Whereas I Faker has no glasses, never has worn glasses. He's forward, outspoken, and uses lots of body language, kinda like Kai, Jack's editor. Hopefully that should make things a bit easier to follow along with. This is what I believe happened, and just so you know, I'm leaving out anything that I don't think relates directly to the story in any way. So I'm not going to gather up everything and put it all in one video, as there is a document already made by the community which I will link in the description below. And if you prefer video format, then I suggest checking out Red Heron's video on the Wilbur Soot ARG explained, which will also be in the description. The story of this ARG begins before the first video that Jack released, before Jack even knew anything was going to happen. It seems that Wilbur must have suffered with some form of trauma which he was unable to deal with and triggered his multiple personality disorder, known today as dissociative identity disorder, splitting his personality into at least 2 separate identities. We still don't know what this trauma was, but later he talks about something embarrassing that he did and he doesn't want the public to know, especially not Kai Ross Best. Wilbur, stressed out about the outcome, came to the conclusion that taking Kai's job as editor for Jack would prevent Kai from finding out what he did, and thus stopping him from revealing what he did to the public. And so writes Jack an email to become his new editor. With some luck, Jack finds the email and lets him try out, sends some footage to Wilbur, and Wilbur gets on editing the video, intending to leave a message for Jack's viewers. At this point, Wilbur is clearly on the run. He also hasn't got a fixed place to live, hoping to acquire some money to help with his situation.
Very good. My apologies, but here we go. This is the song. Oh, Jack Massywell.
But people bang on the door, and he runs believing that they are after him. In the next video, he reveals that they took his guitar
They said they
Wilbur,
took my guitar.
thank you.
and later shows himself stealing a beer keg and falling over in the rain while doing it. Strangely, it makes more sense that he's shown these in the wrong order. He has a keg and the ground is wet after he stole one in the rain. I just wanted to point that out. It's hard to put this into context, but Wilbur left a hidden link in the video, which was to another video reading the poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door."
More clues were discovered that led to more poems with hidden clues, and these revealed the text, "Don't let Kai tell you what I did," and another one, "Don't let Kai find out." I feel that when messages are given out in pairs, we are getting two different sides of a story. He's already started to show his two personalities in the videos, and this is a response to you from each one. I believe our Faker is saying, "Don't let Kai tell you what I did," because our Faker did something, but I Faker doesn't believe he has. So I Faker is telling you, "Don't let Kai find out." No one's truly sure what he's referring to, what he did, but I think it could be simple. I think it's about Wilbur's lies in the first email.
Kai has some properties that are irreplaceable, right? You're wrong. You idiot!
Boasting he's better than Kai, lying about inventing stuff he never did.
The ability to keyframe. I can do this and I can do it better. I invented keyframing. 3. He can play the guitar. So can I. It's easy. There's only like 6 strings and I invented 2 of them.
Compulsive lying may be a trait of our Faker. An I Faker would have no recollection of writing the email, he simply doesn't want Kai to find the email. Another message found after this was, "I did something embarrassing. I did something embarrassing." While lying publicly would be something people would consider to be embarrassed about if it came to light. The clues solved to find these messages were in a video called A Ramble. You can hear both personalities in this video. First is I Faker, more casual, asking you to find out before Kai does, and sort of explains that he can't just tell us.
I need you to know that you guys need to figure this out before Kai does. That's all that matters to me right now. I mean, I'm trying my best to tell you, but I can't. You gotta understand, I can't just tell you straight up. This isn't something I can just go and just say. You know, well, that's not.
Probably because Kai would then see it as well. Then switches to our Faker, where he needs Kai fired, and then believes he is being followed and is on the run again.
Look, I think that would just. What's that? I think that would help us a lot. I don't even know if I'm being chased. I think I'm losing my mind anyway, so it's not.
Later, a video called A Gift was found, and there, Wilbur leaves a box somewhere in the real world with coordinates, and someone went to find it. At the end of this video, people have thought that Wilbur has killed someone and is caught burying them. But honestly, I think it's just showing he's got his guitar back, especially since the next video found is privately owned Spiral Galaxy, which was filmed in the exact same location. Someone called Mr. Jeeves found the box, and inside it was a fidget spinner and a message from someone else, Sonichu. He left a note saying they were too slow, but then later posted the images online. The letter said, "I hope you liked my fidget spinner. I have to go. Don't let him say what I did. It's embarrassing." Then showed a drawing of the O2 Arena with the word oxygen. With the video privately owned Spiral Galaxy, this is Wilbur recording a cover of a song, but some lyrics are missing. 2 lines were affected, and with one of them the real line is, "And the brain I used to cultivate reveals my lovers were a lie," where he misses out, "And the brain I used to cultivate," leaving in, "reveals my lovers were a lie." The next line was, "Normalizes affect reject agony of rationality, which thankfully penetrates with no avail to my unreality," which again was missing the first part, and left in only, "no avail to my unreality." I think it's interesting that the words he missed was "normalizing affect reject agony of rationality, which thankfully penetrates the brain I used to cultivate." I feel like this is trying to tell us about the trauma at the beginning, the brain he used to cultivate being before his multiple personalities. It's getting harder and harder to reach us, because they're getting closer. Sooner or later I'll have to come clean and end this all. I need to know that I'll replace Kai, or I'll have to tell the world what I did. It's just a matter of time. We all know that he's meant to be moving north at this point, during winter, almost living off the land in hiding. But all that's about to change. In Jack's next video, the editor Wilbur conspiracy, which Wilbur edited, he left a message at the end for us. iFaker appears first this time, and seems to be secure, a lot more safer, even displaying some art behind him, and the art is called The Great Wave off Kanagawa, and iFaker admits that we have all the clues, there are no clues left to find, we need to focus on the story. But iFaker appears after, stating for Jack to fire Kai Ross best, and repeats, "It's nice when things end," with a bow on top.
And if I can't get Kai's job, I guess I'm gonna have to be the one to go out and say why I want Kai fired. And this whole thing can come to a nice clean end with a little bow on the top. It's nice when things end with a bow on the top, isn't it, Jack? It's nice when things end with a bow on the top. I'm honoured.
He switches back to iFaker and asks, "Am I going to have that job?" The bow on top clue has never truly been answered. Maybe the reason is because there's no clues left to find. But then, it was iFaker that said that. When he repeated, "a bow on top," he was iFaker. So maybe iFaker's story still does have clues left to find. And if so, I think it's more simple. I think it's not actually a clue, but iFaker does die with a bow on top. We'll get to that soon. Jack begins a Reddit video to realise there is no content to review. Just an image of a lock and the text only people who are not JackSucksAtLife can see this meme. So Wilbur takes over the video. Now nothing really happens through this video. However, Wilbur further proves his split personality by saying,
Oh my god, could you have picked a smaller image? PewDie Dead fan. Alright, let me put on my reading glasses. I don't have reading glasses. I've never owned reading glasses. Oh, here they are. Do you want to join my religion? What's your religion? Do you want to join my religion? What's your religion? And then it's an image, a distorted image of Jack playing his toy clarinet. And then I'm interested.
I'd also just like to point out that he called that a toy clarinet when he already demonstrated that he knows what a kazoo is, also which way round the kazoo even goes. And Jack is playing 4 kazoos inside of each other.
Things again. What's this? This guy on a kazoo? Alright, so what he's doing here is he's blowing into the kazoo the wrong way round.
Because iFaker doesn't wear glasses and never has, but iFaker does. This is showing us that they are 2 different people, and with multiple personality disorder, there are memory gaps. And I think Red Herring was right when they pointed this out. Many more clues followed simply stating there's no more clues left, or that Jack is running out of time to choose between him and Kai. Jack decided to give Wilbur the job, but only because Kai was away for the weekend.
Well, Kai's away this weekend anyway, so we may as well see what happens. Congratulations, Wilbur, you've got the job. I like Wilbur. I like him. He's cute. I like him. Dashing, innit? Right, congrats, Wilbur. You are now the JackSucksAtLife editor.
He wasn't going to fire Kai, and Wilbur reveals that he had met Kai in person while he was away. Getting the editor position he wanted was met with a mixed response, literally from R and iFaker. I believe iFaker was beyond happy creating the video understanding your new position as king, understanding that Kai was coming back but still claiming that he'd won, before getting iFaker's response, to which you'd have to find through a video that repeats the word, "I'm so cold." But with iFaker's response though, the footage seemed to be the same footage from iFaker, but it did seem to be edited by iFaker, with the text saying, "It's not forever, is it?" and "I'm so cold." Another message was found from Wilbur which simply stated miserable. If this is from iFaker, then it's likely he's miserable because it's not a permanent position. But if it's from iFaker, he might be miserable from guilt, from what he's done, or miserable with his new position as king. Fewer clues were found from the next video, but people were making progress. It's clear that Wilbur wanted people to catch up before continuing, as the results from the clues were messages like, "You're missing a big clue. It's simple." Eventually he revealed a Twitter profile, iFaker39715 Po. From this they found the last piece of a puzzle that they've been putting together throughout the story, which shows iFaker, son of iFaker, and a few other references to clues. Not only was this discovered, but the next few tweets from the account showed that another box was hidden, and where to find it. It was a coded message which translated to, "How could you, Jack? How could you? I knew it would happen, yet it still hurts. It's not all about views. Your cash cow has retired. Take me around back and put me out of my misery." So, I assume maybe Jack was the cause of the misery message before. Whatever has happened, Wilbur is annoyed at Jack. Wilbur explains in an email that he only wanted to edit Minecraft videos, and instead Jack makes him edit videos about himself, saying there'll be no more geocaching, no more puzzles. Wilbur's going to leave it all out in the open, which feels familiar because that's exactly what he said he'd do at the beginning. I need to know that I'll replace Kai, or I'll have to tell the world what I did. It's just a matter of time. After this, Jack releases a video, the Final Editor Wilbur video, which shows a compilation of important clues found throughout the ARG. And then Wilbur appears. Well, our Faker does. In the same place as before with the Great Wave off Kanagwa in the background. Our Faker brings more references to being cold and betrayal before switching to iFaker, then talks about YouTube and ad revenue.
And why you do that? Because, you know, when the money's flashing in front of your eyes, all that ad revenue, you know, you gotta grab it. I would know.
Claiming Jack and Wilbur are not so different. Our Faker comes back one last time and says that his job was to show Jack what he could do, to make more satisfying videos, and that he's not just a Minecraft YouTuber anymore. He proceeds to ramble on about this part of him that will die.
This is where I die. The part of you that knows me anyway. I'll still be here. Maybe even you can become friends with the real me. But this part of me dies.
The last thing we hear is Kai's warning. I think this is exactly what it says it is. There's nothing more to it. He said he'd reveal everything with this video, and what he revealed was his objective: to give Jack and himself the opportunity to change their content to something more than it once was. Wilbur was right, both of them have changed content and have found success. Jack started as a Minecraft player, is now a world record holder, and has such a reputation that YouTube won't even reply to him anymore. This might just be a theory on the story, but some questions still remain, like who are R and I Faker? Well, I think I have an answer for this one. R Faker I believe to be Wilbur, maybe an extreme version of himself, and I Faker is Wilbur's extreme version of Kai. I came to the conclusion that they were opposite personalities, so I thought about it for a bit and realised they are even opposite letters of the alphabet. R is 8 letters away from the end, and I is 8 letters away from the beginning. Also, iFaker has been noticed to be an anagram of Fire Kai. And if you want an even better way to remember which one's which, then just call one Wilbur Faker and the other Kai Faker. Despite this being the last video, kind of, we'll get to that in a minute, there was still another message found on Jack's Minecraft server, which even stated the ARG is pretty simple if you look into it. And I think that's why the whole thing is still unfinished, because it's being overthought. Which was good for some parts of the ARG, but things like a bow on top could have a simple answer to it. It could point to this video.
Straight Ace is beginning a grade school for OGPA and a college grant too. Correcting the teachers is a notable feature, reminding them my daddy earns more than you, and oh, I'm not a product of my insecurity.
Both characters seem to be present here, and our Faker is even wearing a bow. On the other hand, it could simply point to the last video, which the camera position changed to have the bow of the ship on top. So the end of our Faker literally ended with a bow on top. Although it did end there was something extra, which Wilbur must have simply saw an opportunity. Jack let 3 professional editors edit this video.
Notably, we've got Editor Kai, my full-time channel editor. We had Wilbur for a bit, who edits and is the manager of the YouTube channel Soot House. And then most recently, we've had Larry, who is a full-time editor for the Fortnite channel Muselk. So following all of your suggestions, today I'm going to let all 3 of them edit this video.
Jack was just doing a few BuzzFeed quizzes and split the video up into 3 parts. Kai did the first part, Wilbur did the second part, and Larry from Jack's video, Barry vs Larry, did the last part. When it was Wilbur's turn, it was clear that Wilbur was still up to his old tricks, replacing every answer for the quiz with pictures of himself. It's obvious that Wilbur's obsession hasn't fully ended, and is made worse when Jack gets upset reading about love, questioning whether he's loved, asking if Wilbur loves Jack. While this is going on, Wilbur is fading in over Jack. It's almost like our faker is being revived somehow.
This can make you feel like you should pull away from others, lest you get hurt. Just know that you are loved and appreciated, and someone out there really loves you. Do you love me, Wilbur? Thanks, Wilbur. How long have we got left? We've got 50 years.
And if you're wondering, yes, there was a clue that led to a message, and this message wasn't for us. It was for Kai. How'd you let this slide, Kai? This Larry guy coming in, and then has the audacity to copy my shtick? For shame. I haven't left my house in several weeks now thinking about this. Who does he think he is? And this is starting to feel like a new obsession setting in here. Rise up, Kai. I may be gone. I may be a shell of what I was, but you're stronger than this. You're better than this. I should know. I should know. I found it really interesting that even after it was all over, Wilbur still played his part of the ARG just because Jack asked him to edit. But there are other things I still don't understand. I'm not sure who the people after him are or why, but it could be that it's just all in his head. Nobody is after him. Or I have another theory that it might actually be fame, and fame is the trauma. Sometimes fame isn't always what people expect, and therefore comes with some problems. These problems can cause psychological issues such as imposter syndrome or even multiple personalities. The people after him may be his fans and he can't handle the attention, so he runs from it. With YouTube itself, it's easy to get stuck repeating the same content because YouTube likes niche content. So when he says they took my guitar, in the video he actually left his guitar behind. But I think this is more about he can't play his guitar because his music is not getting the attention, and therefore he is stuck with his regular content. This is also mentioned when he talks to Jack at the end of the ARG. And hey, if you click this video, then clearly you're interested in puzzle solving and these mystery sorts of things. I haven't done anything to this level. I mean, Wilbur, you did an amazing job with this ARG. Some people have noticed that I've left some clues of my own in some of my older videos on JackSucksAtLife. I'm not going to tell you where to start, but they're all there. I'd also like to end this video by thanking the community because they figured out all of these clues. They're a lot smarter than I am, and they figured out everything and managed to piece it all together, as so far as it could be anyway. I mean, Wilbur did say that he's actually made a mistake with an interview with Hey It's Joe. He said that he made it too hard and he messed something up.
No, I'm not telling anyone. I've literally told no one. No, literally. Closest friends don't know.
That's like the best marketing strategy I've ever heard of before. You still have people chasing after this now to this day.
Yeah. It's literally because the thing is, there's no. It's like the thing is it's not like they're not missing anything. They've got all the clues. The only thing they've got left to find out was like the story that I'd written behind it, and there's still a couple things they haven't found, but they're not clues. They're like pieces of the puzzle they're missing because they've got all the clues to find the piece of the puzzle. It's one of those things where I can't like. I feel like I can't talk about it too much because I'm like, I really... Basically what I've done, Joe, is it's my first ever ARG, and I f***ed it up. I made it way too hard.
We don't know what this is, and he won't tell anyone. So maybe we'll never know the full story of this. But if you'd like to find out everything we do have, as I said at the beginning, there is a Google document below, and the Red Herring video, Wilbur Soot, ARG, explained. And it is certainly worth a watch. And I'll admit, this was by far the hardest video I've made, and it's been the most enjoyable for me as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with another video. Goodbye now.